I didn't think I was gonna do this, but it was suggested to me when I started online teaching that I do a weekly wrap-up video talking about the week. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna do this every week, but I feel a need for it this week. Oh boy, what a week it was, you know? So I don't know how it was for you guys. I hope everyone is healthy and safe. There was a couple things I wanted to address that came up throughout the week. And so let's look at this week's wrap-up video. Oh, really important is the scientific notation in top hat when you're going to answer. So if the answer requires scientific notation, it kind of has a little bit explanation saying that it does, but I wanted to go over that. So how do we enter scientific notation for top hat? And this is also true in calculators. So if you want to write 3.45 times 10 to the 6 in top hat, you just replace the times 10 with a capital letter E. And the 6 is no longer a superscript up high and tiny, it's just a regular 6. So in top hat, you would enter 3.45 capital E and 6, no spaces. So again, the E represents the times 10. It's the same thing if you guys are using this little caret symbol here. So 4.78 times 10, and I feel like this means to the 7th, right? If you couldn't make superscripts. So in top hat, you replace the times 10 to the with, again, a capital letter E. So you would just enter 4.78 capital E 7. Some people say this is the geek way to say numbers. That's okay. So this also happens in calculators. A lot of times on your calculator, the key on the calculator shows up as EE, but then on the screen, when you type it in, it will be E, okay? So just in summary, when the capital E means times 10 to the whatever, okay? All right, so again, come to office hours if you're having any trouble with that. It was great to see some of you guys in office hours this week. So speaking of office hours, I don't know if you guys noticed on your schedule, but there are lab sections associated with this class, but we're doing all our labs through Labster. You do have lab instructors, Dr. Sherritt and Dr. Farmer. And what we decided to do is they are going to have office hours in addition to my office hours. And so Dr. Sherritt's going to have office hours 10:30 to 11:30 on Wednesdays and 11:30 to 12:30 on Fridays. Dr. Farmer is going to have office hours from 4:30 to 5:30 on Mondays. And I have Dr. Farmer's link already on our Canvas page, and I will get Dr. Sherritt's links up on our Canvas page as well. And these are, you don't have to be, they don't have to be your lab instructor to go to their office hours. This is open to the whole class. So it's just another resource at different times. If my office hours are not working for you, you got a class or something, here's some more options, okay? So I highly recommend you get that, that interaction. Especially, I know some of you have expressed to me you have a really hard time with online learning, you're worried about it. And so this is just, again, 3 additional hours a week for you to interact with a professor, okay? And they are chemistry faculty, you know, and so they're members of our department. So they're looking forward to meeting you guys. So please go to the office hours. And they're also going to help me respond to all the questions and insights that have been occurring on our discussion boards. So speaking of discussion boards, you guys are doing an amazing job posting. I have to admit, I was so worried about online teaching. I mean, it was fine in the spring when we had to do it, but like I said, I miss in person, face to face, and especially with the asynchronous course where you guys are working on your own schedule. I was so worried about interaction. And so, you know, I put the discussion boards as one way to have an interaction. And I am just blown away by the number of responses. So, you know, I really appreciate that. It makes me excited as a teacher. And so this is really, really great, okay? I just want to make sure that you guys know you don't have to post anything if you don't want to, okay? There's no points associated with posting on the discussion board. But again, I wanted a way for us to interact, and this is one of the options, okay? So if you have time, okay, look through the posts that are already there. And if you have the same question as someone else, you can give it a thumbs up. You don't have to rewrite the question. So this week, I saw a lot of people were asking what's the difference between mass and weight. And so I kind of I answered it, and then I copied and paste that answer to people's post. But again, if you guys just push the thumbs up button, then what I can do, and again, we'll see how the semester goes with this, is I can sort the responses with the ones with the most thumbs up. So make sure I address the questions that most of the class has. Ideally, between me, myself, and the 2 lab instructors, we can address all your questions. So a lot of people were asking about, when do I use Celsius? When do I use Kelvin? And again, I answered those on the discussion board. But again, if you have that same question and you can kind of look through the posts that are already there, if you give it a thumbs up, that will put it to the top of the list. And a lot of you guys were asking about how come the US isn't using SI units? And yeah, it's a good question. Okay. Just a little bit of clarification here with how the different types of questions you're encountering are being graded. So your in-lecture questions, meaning the questions come up as you're reading or as you're watching videos, those questions are 90% participation and 10% correctness. So the majority of the grade for those is just if you get it done. The weekly quizzes is 50% participation and 50% correctness, okay? So if you get them all wrong, you'll still get at least 50% of the points. Now homework. So here's a tricky thing about Top Hat, and again, this is our first semester using it and I'm learning. Whenever I assign something to be graded, like if I assign a page about significant figures that says, okay, you gotta go through this and it's gotta be done by, this date, Top Hat classifies it as homework, okay? But when I'm talking about homework, I'm talking about there is a folder that says weekly homework. In fact, let me show you, okay? I'm gonna stop sharing here. And I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna come to my internet and look at Top Hat. So whenever I assign something to you guys, and I imagine, because there was some confusion about this, it's showing up as homework here, but these are just the pages. This is just, the stuff I'm expecting you to go through and look at and read, watch the videos, answer the questions. So these are the in-lecture questions, okay? So all that's in your weekly work. Then there's the reading quizzes, the 50-50%. And then this is when I'm talking about homework, this is what I'm talking about, weekly homework. So there is a folder with weekly homework, okay? Let me go back to my presentation here. Okay, so that homework is going to be 100% participation. That homework is not multiple choice, it's not fill in the blank, it's not a specific numerical answer, it's more open-ended. And if I was a student in this class, I would be doing that homework on paper and pen or on a whiteboard, kind of, maybe it's probably gonna be a little bit of a struggle, right? And working it out. And so those is just 100% participation. You put in an answer, you're gonna get those points, okay? But they give you something, if you're struggling, you can bring it to office hours and say, I was working out this problem, I'm not sure how to do it. Can we work on it, okay? So again, that's your homework. And then exams are gonna be the exact opposite. They're gonna be 100% correctness and 0% participation. And I also got asked about how the Labster grading is going. And so that, the Labster, it's the grade you earn through Labster is the grade you get for that lab. Now, having said that, I'm making this video on Friday afternoon. This morning, I got an email letting me know that Labster had some issues. I had to delete all the Labster simulations I had and re-upload them again. And so when I did that, the people who had finished Labster already, the grade disappeared. And I don't anticipate this being an issue in the future. So again, we were getting Labster all figured out. I am working on getting those grades, but don't worry, I'm not gonna penalize you. It's been like a very eventful week. So please be patient with me. I will not penalize you, and I am aware of it. Okay. All right. Oh, and that's the end of my presentation. So I think that's all. Another thing I wanted to mention was that some of you guys mentioned like, oh, I wish there was more on this. I feel that a lot in this class. There's, like I said, we're doing general organic biological chemistry all in one semester. There are so many times when I want to talk more about a subject. We just simply don't have the time in this class. There's a lot of material. So if you guys ever have something you want to talk more or learn more about, again, that's a great reason to come to office hours. So bring that up in office hours. I'd be happy to chat more with you guys. And there was one thing I was going to say. Well, I guess it wasn't that important. All right. All right, you guys, I hope you have a good weekend. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, check in with each other, and yeah, be safe.